Morning, guys. Alright, a couple questions. So, I have a timer now. Didn't put it on today, but probably get that set up tomorrow. You guys heard music on that? I changed the way the music was set up with that intro scene. So, were you guys hearing it okay? Morning, Scott. Hey, one heart, one mind. Hey, Nobu. Hello, Care Bear. Hey, Dehydrogenasa. How's it going, guys? Music was good. Could hear it? Fantastic. All right. Let me share some behind the scenes. Well, not behind the scenes particularly. I mean, it's not particularly deep stuff. It's just right now, kind of enjoying Curse of the Dead Gods. I don't think I'm going to have too many more full streams of it. I'm not sure it's a game that really survives full day streaming, but I'm going to full day stream it probably today. Looking to move into something a little bit deeper in the next couple days. Not sure what that's going to be yet. I need to decide if I want to double down on Warhammer, which I like a lot. I think in learning the multiplayer eventually will be very rewarding, but it feels like a hell of a lot of upfront cost, right? It's going to be a lot of memorizing units, not so much memorizing unit stats, a lot of figuring out units and playing a game that's only kind of moderately interesting right now. Like, I like the game. I like the fights. I'm not sure if I'm going to gain a lot more enjoyment out of it doing a bunch of multiplayer matches or not, and it's going to take a lot of commitment to do that. I'm kind of not really feeling Gears Tactics right now. Like, playing through it, it felt very samey. Every time I tune on a stream of someone else playing it, it feels very samey. And it felt pretty easy. Even on the hardest difficulty, I wasn't feeling like my decisions were particularly meaningful, which I really dislike in games. I hate that floaty feeling of, well, I could do whatever the fuck I want, including pass out and face roll on my keyboard to win. Other than that, I kind of have some interest in looking at Urtuk again. I kind of have some interest in looking at Battletech again, but I suspect that's just not going to really fly on the channel. Really like to play another Rogue Tech run. I enjoyed that game immensely. But trying to decide what's next. We have a fair number of games coming up again, but that will probably be a week and a half or so, and we'll do another tryout day. But trying to decide what we want to double down on from the existing kind of pool of games. So, I don't know. If you guys have thoughts on that, please share them. Wouldn't mind having that conversation, bouncing around a little bit today. Old World would be one of the games we check out. For sure. Thank you, Triple P. Welcome back.
19 months.
More Warhammer, but I don't think I want to do more Warhammer single player. Both campaigns of the Warhammer single player were almost identical. It's interesting early fights, which quickly becomes a series of auto-resolves with a Stomper army and playing whack-a-mole with the stupid AI, which wasn't fun at all. I have no interest in playing whack-a-mole with AI armies. Because, I mean, I like the Warhammer game, but if I do it, I think I'm going to do multiplayer, right? Like, the fun parts of multiplayer are human opponents, and it's a skirmish setup, right? So it's not a base building thing. And I would like to be pretty fluent with the system by the time Warhammer 3 comes out. I'd like to be able to jump straight into that game if it's good, because I've enjoyed Warhammer 2 a lot more than I thought I was going to. So maybe we try that out. It's certainly possible. Ugh. How's everyone doing? Tired of this lockdown. Keep waiting for it to end. It's going on and on and on. And I think we're not even that far into it. Multiplayer day or two? Yeah, it's perhaps what to do. I almost did it today, but I kind of like, I'm still enjoying Curse of the Dead Gods a lot, and I'm kind of intimidated by the amount of upfront that I'm worried I'll have to do for multiplayer. If I have to know every unit visually that my opponents are playing and have built-in counters for my army for that, it's gonna be pretty rough. Rough to start. Embrace the backseating. Yeah. Talk shows stream, no gameplay. Question mark? I have TFWH2 in the title. Oh. I have TF instead of TW. RIP. I'll fix that. Thanks. Mech Bay talk show. Dude, I would love to do some Mech Bay action right now. Do you know how satisfying that is for me to min-max a build and then bring it out and get to take advantage of that? That's so satisfying for me. That's like what I live to play games for, or what I love the most out of games is that. It's like, you know, you guys, the Civ content was that, right? It's like, how can I do this better? Figuring out how to do this better, setting myself the framework to do it better, and then doing it better. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. Hold on, let me share the most recent YouTube comment. I think you guys might get a kick out of this. Just talking about guides real quick. Should take like 1 second. Let me just fire this up, make sure it works. I have a Chrome share here. I do. Is this all right? This is. Okay. Yeah. All right. So comments on Civ stuff, right? We got a comment here. This game is not worth $60. I'm sorry, which is a strange comment. Why is he apologizing to me? I don't give a shit if he doesn't want to buy this game. I don't care at all. But this guy, this is the guy I wanted to point out here. Ready? Can you make these shorter? Can I get a TLDR? It's an individual review, which is literally a TLDR of every single Civ. But he wants a TLDR of that. The TLDR of that is there's differences in the Civ's power levels. You should pay attention to which ones are interesting to you and pick the ones with bonuses you can utilize in the game, in the environment you want to play in. but what does he want? Like, I don't know. Just sometimes people blow me away. I feel like YouTube comments may be the lowest form of human communication available to people. I think. Probably. Anyways, but I'm talking about guides. So it's like when you do a guide, what are you aiming for? Are you aiming to give as much information as you have available? Are you aiming to give the quickest amount of information? I try to do that with newbie guides. Try to give them enough they can get into the game, but not overwhelm them with details. But like the pro guides, like the in-depth guides, like that's the point of an in-depth guide, to give a bunch of details that really allow people to min-max the shit out of the game. So. Anyways. Did I do the Civ 5 guide in one sitting? I did. Yeah. It was a 4-hour video record, and I actually started it over. I've done it twice, because there was a version 1 was up for a couple months, and then, or probably longer than that, maybe a year, and then I did a version 2 when a bunch of stuff changed over time, and I got better at the game, like another 2,000 hours or something in between them. But when I recorded that, it was not a one take. After an hour and a half, fucked up, and had to restart recording it. So it was like a 6-hour recording session for me. Yep, see the sunset in that video. Back when I was a new YouTuber.
Fellowship expands.
Thanks, Trexmer.
Praise the sub.
If I did it again, I would have broken it. I would have done a single one. I would have recorded them all probably in a day, but I would have done a breakdown of each Civ, but I would have done it individually. So it would be, I don't know, what is there, 26 Civs or 50? I don't remember, 46 Civs. I don't fucking remember. I have no idea. I can't remember. It's like a 52 in my head and there's a 26 in my head. So I don't know if either of those are related to that. But I would have had a single guide video for each of those in a playlist, essentially. Like I did with the Darkest Dungeon class reviews. But that YouTube, the first Civ video was really, really early in my streaming and YouTubing career, I guess. My wife has signed me up on Tuesday. Tuesday will be a slightly short stream. I'm going to finish around like probably 1:30 my time, which is like 4.5 hours, 5 hours in streaming, something like that. Because she's signed me up. She teaches, she's a psychology professor and she teaches different courses each semester, but this semester she's teaching intimate relationships. And she wants me to come be part of the final class of that to answer questions in an AMA format about our relationship. Which is like, okay, sure, I guess. But fuck. Like her filter is so much, she's so much more willing to talk about personal stuff with people than I am. So, we'll see. It will probably be fun. But like, I said I would do it if we got questions pre-submitted so I could at least see what I'm dealing with. So I was reading the list of those this morning. Some of them look fun. Some of them are like, some of them are just, I don't know how we're going to answer some of them. Some of them will be like, that's none of your fucking business, mate. So maybe not bring up the hot sauce, sorry. That wasn't much of a relationship story. Record it. I don't think so. If it was on my channel, Scott, I absolutely would. And we've done AMAs, her and I, on my channel. In which case, like, I'm fine with that. I guess it's, she probably shares differently with her class than she shares with just the internet as a whole. So, am I gonna stream it? No, it's a class presentation for her class. So, we do AMAs. When she's on, we do tend to do AMAs. We tend to do drunk AMAs. And since she has no fucking filter, that's always already sharing much more than I would deliberately share, I think. We have conversations about that sometimes. She's like, you should share more for your channel. They like that. And I'm like, I get that they like that, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I want to do that. So, anyways, I think every once in a while is probably better anyways. All right, should we do some gameplay this morning? So, let's see. Let's see where we are right now. Currently running. Corruption takes more corruption to get curses. Start with gold. And gear found in chests or dropped by enemies has a higher chance of being higher quality. Thought it was a chatting channel. I like, I don't mind catching up a little bit at the start of a stream. I like it. I like chatting with you guys to begin with. Ask Filthy's wife anything. That's the scary bit of letting her loose on the internet, for sure. For sure. Do I have the no door corruption one? Is there a no door corruption one? Not a no door corruption one. I stop her from telling good stories? I do not. At what point have I ever stopped her from telling a good story? Last time she was on? What? No. No, didn't happen. Did not happen. Tend to laugh stuff off or make a joke. That's because what she's comfortable sharing with fucking everyone is like crazy. It's like she has like no like person. I don't know. It's so crazy to me. Censored. Repressed. All right. Let's get our first run going. Uh-oh. Wait. This is a personal meeting between chat and myself. You weren't invited. Keep to your own stuff. Mind your own business. You need to explain? Yeah. I'm going to mute the mic and then you can... No. What is it you wanted to say?
I feel like I just trust people more than...
Don't you have to go to work? Like, shouldn't you go to work and, like, be out of the house when I'm having my stream so I can talk with chat privately?
Oh, you want me to close your door?
No, it's all right. What were you saying? Say what you're saying. I'm just teasing you.
I don't know. I was thinking that I think I, like...
Can you hear this, chat? If not, that would be perfect. But let me just...
No, for better or for worse, I think I trust you.
She says, quote, for better or worse... She thinks she trusts people more than I do. It's for worse. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page. I know that about you. That's why I'm doing my best to shore up that weakness in our relationship.
It's good. You are helpful and
That's right.
in that way protective.
Have I ever told the story about the time you wanted to go to sit in on that, the people who were going to sell you a timeshare because they told you had won something in the mail? Yeah. This is why there's a partnership.
Like 8 years ago.
That's right. And as you've been with me longer, you've been less vulnerable to these things.
True. I have been helpful.
Yeah.
But I've also brought out more in you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I'm much more open with people, am I? That's good. Perfect. Yeah. So this is open filthy. This is me sharing everything with everyone. Like this conversation, which probably would have been off microphone otherwise. So yeah. They said that last time we had an AMA, I apparently stopped you from telling a good story. I don't remember that.
I don't remember it either, because I was probably pretty drunk.
Yeah, I know, which probably means I do need to stop you from telling stories if you're pretty drunk. Anyways. She says she doesn't remember, Nobu. She was pretty drunk. All right, we good? How much does Raid pay for a sponsor? I'm not willing to talk the specific details of that, Modern Messiah. I can say that the stretch goals make the sponsorship go from a quite decent sponsorship to a very, very nice sponsorship. So when my community helps me get these stretch download goals, it lets me make those sponsorships much more valuable to the channel. Yeah, and it's gonna depend on your channel size too. Yeah, Scott, I'm kind of with you on that, and it's more like a lowest common denominator thing. It's like probably most people are pretty fucking chill, and then you say something on channel, and then it's like on the internet forever, and you got some people whose goal is not to be reasonable about that. Arby's said it was a couple of months of rent. Isn't that his? I don't know Arby's renting situation. My understanding was he was renting from his mom. Cheers. Thanks. I have fun on PKA. It's really too bad about Chiz's stuff going on right now. He's tweeting about it, which makes it public, but I kind of like want to like tell him, you know, that sucks, man. I'm really sorry for your pain, but it's such a useless thing to say, right? Like it just really sucks for him. Hey, Stewie. All right, let's get going on our run. I'd like to get a weapon a little bit earlier than here, but I do want to go through the stat blocks if we can. I guess there's a stat block at the Hey chat, we just got F this morning. Don't tell my wife about it. Yeah, it was a quick stream, but it was a good one. Quick stream, but a good one. I'm really looking forward to, so I've given up entirely on, I've not given up on solving the problem so much as I've given up on my ability to solve that problem. I don't know what the hell the fucking problem is, and I don't know how to solve it. So what I will do at some point, when shit returns more to normal, is when I travel again, and I'm going to be out of town for a couple days, I will bring it down to the local PC store. I will tell them what the issue is. I will tell them how to create that issue. And I will ask them to figure out what the fuck's going on, because I can't. So. Yeah, I don't know, Modern Messiah. It feels a bit voyeuristic on some sense to even like drop in like a line for that. Do I use a separate streaming PC? No, I do not. All right. So where are we going? I've not played set 3 of TFT. I don't really want to get back into TFT. I decided eventually that I didn't really like that format of gaming. It's not interactive enough for a multiplayer, but it's not single player either. Can get a weapon into a relic into a question mark, which is probably good enough. All right, let's go this way. How close we are? I talk to him when he sets up PKA. That's when I talk to him, and I occasionally respond to his tweets, but pretty rarely. Yeah. Too many porn viruses? I don't think so. I think it's a CPU issue. My personal suspicion is there's a nice shot for me. Nice work, dude. My personal suspicion is there's a problem with one of the cores in the PC, and that it's having some particular interaction with OBS. It only crashes with OBS. It doesn't crash with any other program, and the crash is only OBS crashing. So no other. So the computer doesn't crash. The other programs don't crash. It's just OBS. So my suspicion is it's probably a CPU core interaction with OBS, and that until I figure out a way to prove that, AMD basically was like, run these tests. I ran these tests, it didn't show anything, and they're like, no, we don't believe you. It's not a core problem. But everything else shows is fucking fine. So it's kind of, I think it's there, but I don't know how to get more in depth with that. I've done a bunch of memory tests. I've done a bunch of CPU tests. I can get issues. I can get the CPU to show problems when I run some of the really deep tests for looking for CPU issues, but they're not the same ones that AMD suggests to use, and AMD ones have come back with nothing, with negatives, right? So it's really kind of a pain in the ass to figure out exactly what this is. And it's time intensive, right? Each of these tests is like an overnight thing. So it's like, And then it doesn't happen every time, right? Like the tests come back negative every time. But like even if I like test stream, so I can set up an OBS test stream, which is basically I'm streaming, but I'm streaming to like a false domain kind of, so it doesn't actually go out live. And that doesn't guarantee a crash. I can have 8-hour days with no crash. I can have 10-hour days with no crash, right? So I can't duplicate the crash when I want to duplicate it, which makes it really, really hard to test if any changes you make it better. So the only way I can find out if a change doesn't make it better is I've changed something, and I probably realistically from a scientific like method kind of perspective want to change one thing at a time, so I'm not just changing like 10 things differently in the setup of a PC when I have no idea why, and then test it. But that's like a day every single time. So, what's wrong with the sound? Game sound is drowning me out. It shouldn't be. These settings are normal. All right, let me restart the stream. This is an issue that sometimes happens with the sound. Right back.